Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today? This is Jan from New York City, and my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. How's everybody doing today on the still kind of dark out Sunday morning? We are in the midst of Labor Day weekend, and of course I have to get my trusty first cup, first sip of the day. Oh yeah. So good. Don't ask me why, but the first is always the best. It just really, really is. So we've been talking a lot about no spending, and it occurred to me, I might have mentioned it, actually I do know that I mentioned it in prior videos, that just because a person has a no spend day doesn't mean they have to have a day of depravity. You just have to become a little bit creative. We have been so programmed to equivocate spending with pleasure and joy. And while I'm all for a great economy, trust me, I really am, the thing is this: if we have to be our own personal CEOs or CFOs of our lives, we also have to keep a control on our spending. So I don't know if you had a moment to check out my recent upload about creating your own calendar. And that's just what I did. Hang on a second. By the way, happy September. And happy birthday to all the key people in my life that have birthdays this month. And for whatever the reason, that's just the way it is in my life. I have about 4 key birthdays coming up in September. And I'm just using this as a lesson and example that every month is different, okay? So I know it's a holiday weekend, and the last thing that some of you might be thinking about is your budget. You'd rather be barbecuing or at the beach. And I don't blame you for that, actually. But when you do come back, and if you're having issues with debt, I think that a lot of times people have personal issues with money management is because either A, they don't feel empowered, or B, they're afraid to look at it. It's just numbers, okay? Look at it as numbers, and that's it. So are you doing anything special this weekend? I so wish that I could hear your answer back. I really, really do. But you can actually comment below, right? Okay. And while I have your ear for a second, I want to take a moment to thank my ever-growing little community here. You people really rock, especially the ones that come back all the time. Don't get me wrong, thank you for stopping by, even for one moment. I appreciate that. But the ones that are consistent and come back, I'm really, really blessed to have you. You're very, very nice people. If I don't have a chance to tell you directly ever, oh, look in this camera. You're nice people. So thank you for that. So I'm going to stop the camera a second, take a few more sips, but I'll be right back. Okay, so I happen to have had those couple of sips. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out this channel, I mentioned it about a week ago because this is consistent with the no spend idea. And Ellen's Abundant Life, every single day in August, she shared with her experience of deliberately no spending. This is in alignment with a book that talks about it. So if you love this thing in great detail, I strongly suggest. There is an incredible difference between a chosen and planned no spend day versus the, oh my goodness, I only have $5 to buy groceries for my kids in 2 days. can't spend days. And I recognize that. And that's why I wanted to take an extra minute to talk about the psychology of saving. I recognize that not every single body understands the joy of saving. And actually, even though I learned the method growing up, I didn't really appreciate it till I was older. Some things you just get older. There are some people who never learned how to save because they grew up in an environment of just get, or they, I don't know, for whatever the reason, they lack some sort of a confidence or perhaps patience. See, we live currently in not a patient, excuse me. We live currently in an I want everything done yesterday world. And this is where I'm giving away my age. Okay, in my time, I'll give you a tiny example. If you took a picture, a photograph, back in the day when I was a kid, guess what? You had to use a thing called film. You had to bring it to the drugstore or somewhere else. You had to wait for it to get processed, the film, developed, and it may have not come back for anywhere from 3 to 5 days, maybe even 7, depending on the clerk. Where today, everything is so instantaneous, and we have become so fast-paced. We have, even myself, we've just got used to things fast-paced, and we need to go, whoa, slow back a little bit. So if you get impatient with savings, or you think you cannot do it, this is the reasoning behind the $1 a day challenge. The number $1 represents just like a figure, okay? You can do coins. You can do $2. Whatever you can do. And if you have lacked confidence or patience, you're the person who should try the challenge. It's sort of like an exercise, sort of like building up your savings muscles. Some people might say, well, what can I do with $31? Ask the person who only had $5 at the end of the month if an additional $31 would have helped them go grocery shopping. It's just a tiny example. Isn't it nice to be ahead of the game at the end of the month? Isn't it nice to have the option to have goals? And we can have goals. In the beginning, when you begin your challenge, say, hey, I want to put this money away for gas money. I don't want to have to struggle. Or, hey, I want to begin my emergency fund. You can do it, okay? That's all I wanted to say this morning is, if you lack confidence, you can do it. Just try. Try teensy weensy tiny. Have you ever had a no spend day? Try it. Maybe today might be the day. Make today a no spend day. Do a free activity outside with your family, like take a walk to the park, That's free. You could bring your own snacks from home. Throw a frisbee, my favorite thing to do. I love frisbee. Anyway, I just want to wish everyone an amazing Sunday. I want to remind you, if you have teensy weensy goals, you can do it, because it's the teensy weensy goals that'll get you to the greater goals. I want everyone to be lifted up out of the poverty mindset. And just because you might have been born into poverty doesn't mean you have to have a lifetime of poverty. Never forget that. I don't care how old you are either. You could be 70 years old and starting. You can. You really, really can. Okay? Okay. And in the meantime, this has been Jan from New York City. And my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. You have a great day. Thanks for sharing a cup of coffee with me early on a Sunday. Take good care.